Hey babes, Fairy Rave Godmother over here pulling up with some shit you don't want to hear, but you might as well listen, because words are medicine. Maybe it'll break a little bit of that mental and emotional congestion up. Look, today, June 9th, it's kind of a big jerk in like a sneaky little way. There's quite a bit of energy moving through the collective. Big shift. And a couple things happening today. Friendly reminder, stars ain't making you do it. Correlation is not causation, but the energy moves through the ecosystem like you too will receive the energy in a wave and be with it. And it'll activate something in you or not. The energy makes the shapes, you color in the lines. Look, also, if this is like strong, like everything ever is talking to you, not the time to work with these ideas. It's time to get grounded in yourself. Call your mental health care practitioner and re-arrive into the body and into the mind. All this magical, spiritual, like zingy, flashy, astro mumbo jumbo energy bullshit ain't gonna help you nothing if you're not in the right frame of mind. Okay, all right. Back to the big jerk, which is a combination of a couple things. Number one, Mercury is sliding out of Gemini and into Cancer. It's kind of hot to trot. There's a lot of information. How are you using the information to care for yourself? Number two, Jupiter sliding out of Gemini into Cancer, blowing up the whole home sitch. Remember, your home is the source of your health. Maybe you unhoused. Maybe your home is your body. That's what you identify as home. Wherever you plug into rest and restore, that's home. Number three, on the down low, another stinking Venus square Pluto in Aquarius. And all that's to say, all the icky relationship stuff coming up is shadow. Well, okay, I don't want to say shadow. Let me call it subconscious muck. Yeah, let's call it muck. The relationship that you have to yourself is bigly important because that dictates, that governs how you care for yourself, how you give yourself what you need. It dictates how you give each other and the planet parts of you. And maybe I pulled up with that introduction that if you're not in your body or in your mind, then right now this is kind of not a useful thing to listen to, because too much medicine is too much. In the flutter of information and downloads and transfers of information, who is it serving? What is it good for? Are you just like sticking your head in the etheric, super highway? Okay, that might be nice for a rush, but then what? Bring it back down to being human. And being human means caring for yourself in a way that allows you to love yourself, be kind to yourself, and then as a reflection, be kind to others, so that, that's how you move through the world. And in return, restore yourself and be with the joy that your you're here for. You are joy. But hurt people hurt. And this comes across especially on the social stage when we see bullying or over the internet. You know, I was looking at something today, some article written by some intellectual who's like, we have no empathy, we're bombarded, we're so numb that we have no more empathy. Well, duh. Most of us really never learned true empathy anyway. And with the bombarding of information that everybody's hurting, we're just going to carry on the pattern like dominoes, you know? Show me someone who is the domino that falls out of line, who doesn't perpetuate that pattern. And I think this is important. I think right now this cocktail, energetically, how it feels, it's gonna kind of foreshadow, or it's not gonna, it is foreshadowing how Uranus moving into Gemini later in the summer, I think it's like July 7th, how that's gonna feel. Boy, will that be a zing. Uranus governs ancestral information, whatever's in the DNA, what we carry forward and then is expressed through incarnation, through a physical body. Mercury's that like day-to-day workhorse. Uranus is the whole damn novella, opera, storyline. And I think that, well, at least speaking from my own experience and what I've been encountering over the past few days, is as a mental health care practitioner, there's not a lot of space for not being well, or let me say it like this. There's not a lot of space to be well without carrying a much, much, much larger burden. And that is accountability. Look, I spent a good time in the South, a good amount of time in the American Deep South. That place radicalized me to accountability. And in terms of mental health, that's going to come from a couple different places that we can access. Healthcare, clean food, clean water, clean air. We can get around, right? So you don't have what you need to go out, make your money, take care of yourself. You ain't going to be happy or healthy. And who's responsible for that? Well, you are. But more than that, the people around you who ain't making the laws, who ain't building the infrastructure, right? Maybe I'm also picking up on some of that Saturn squared Neptune and Aries. Because there's this like dreaminess, right? With this like whole cosmic love thing. Don't even get me started on spiritual bypassing. Well, get me started, but give me another transmission download for that. There's this whole like dreaminess that like, you know, you get healthy and you move through the world, like you suddenly pop up like you a gopher head and you're like, what's up? Where's all my old other healed, healthy people? And the fact is that like they're not there. The fact is that you wake up in a very, very sick world. And so to step away from the rosy-posy, unrealistic, imaginative, like, you know, idea of healing, what we need to acknowledge and do is that there needs to be accountability and boundaries within that context. So, start with yourself. Full moon coming up on Wednesday. It's a Sagittarian full moon. Good good time to change your worldview. But look, there's a lot going on here. So there's the Sagittarian full moon energy. There is the Jupiter energy. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter sliding into Cancer. There is the Venus energy of money, of love, of values, of relationships, of beauty. Causing, a hard right by encountering Pluto in Aquarius in a square. Pluto's the muck. Pluto's the ick. I always say, like, Pluto's that, like, when you, like, kind of, like, burp in your mouth, but a little vomit comes up, and it's like, oof, yeah, that's Pluto for me. But then you spit it out, and it's fine. But look. The opportunity here this week and in this energetic mix is to ask yourself, what can I hold for myself? How can I hold myself? How can I care for myself? Because if you can't hold yourself emotionally, it means that you can't hold another person emotionally. If another person can't hold you emotionally and contribute to a feeling of safety, which allows vulnerability, which is a healthy expression of the muck that's gonna come up, because it's gotta come up, walk away. Hold yourself accountable to that, because that is self-care. And maybe this is blowing your mind that actually the best form of self-care is to not care so much that your boundaries dissolve. We need to be really real right now. We need to tap into that source of joy, because it's resistance. And if the bad vibe that's riding through the collective, right, Pluto and Aquarius right now, look, if we get swept away with that, we get swept away and we lose ourselves. So we lose, and the ICSIC wins. And I don't know about you, but I ain't here for that. I'm joy. Choose joy. Drink water, eat cake. I love you, and take your meds every day, whatever they are, whatever it is. Even when it's working, stick with it.